What's up, Guardians? Today we're going to be talking about the 5 weapons that I think you guys should be farming from the Umbral Engrams. There are a ton of weapons in the new Engram system that you can almost specifically farm for. You can basically get it down to a 50-50 chance between 2 weapons. And I think the Umbral Engram system is great. And there's a ton of really good weapons. So I'm only going to be covering 5 in this video. And I think that there are a ton more you should grab for sure. And my list may differ from some of your guys' opinions about the best 5 weapons you should farm. But let's get right into it. For the list, I'm just going to go, the last one is the most important. And the first one I talk about is the least important. And we're going to work our way up towards the most important gun I think you should farm. So at number 5, I think you should 100% get a good Breach Light. Breach Light is the sidearm from the Season of the Dawn. When you go to the Umbral Engram, you'll either get that or Martyr's Retribution, which is a really cool grenade launcher. So either way, you'll actually be getting a pretty cool gun from that Umbral Engram. But for Breach Light, it's a sidearm. It's one of my favorite in the game for PvE. And overall, I think it's really powerful. And this season just introduced a new mod for sidearms that makes sidearms do a ton of bonus damage. So I really think Breach Light's your best sidearm to pair with the new sidearm mod. Anyway, getting into the role of the Breach Light. For the role, I would specifically look out for Outlaw and then either multi-kill clip or Rampage, depending on which one you prefer. I prefer Rampage, so currently on mine that I got during Season of the Dawn, mine currently has Outlaw and Rampage. But either way, Rampage or multi-kill clip, whichever one you prefer, definitely go out and get yourself a really good Breach Light. They're a really strong kinetic sidearm that you can put in basically any loadout as your primary weapon. Number 4, we're diving into a PvP weapon. This fall, with sunsetting and everything, Trials of Osiris is going to have a more limited meta. So I think a weapon like Cold Denial is really going to be super strong, especially since they just recently buffed its archetype, and I don't see them going back on a buff they just made. If you haven't tried out something like Cold Denial or Redrix's Claymore or Redrix Broadsword this season, it's really strong. They buffed its damage a little bit, so it's way easier to get those 2 taps. So for Cold Denial, I would look out for Feeding Frenzy and multi-kill clip, making your 2 taps just that much easier to get, and then you can just kind of train the loop of Outlaw plus, or Feeding Frenzy plus multi-kill clip to constantly have that damage buff up and constantly 2-burst people. Overall, the Pulse Rifle is really good. It's really stable, and overall, I think it's going to be a great pick for when Redrix's Broadsword falls out of the meta because it's going to be sunset. So that would be my 4th weapon that you should definitely 100% grab from the Umbral Engrams. Moving on to number 3, it's a new weapon that was, I think, just introduced this week into the Umbral Engrams, and that is the new Ikelos Sniper Rifle version 1.0.2. The Ikelos Sniper came back for the dungeon, and now it's farmable in this Engram, and it's gotten random rolls from year 1 instead from year 1, and overall it just seems like a really good sniper. Moving into the fall, when Trials of Osiris again has that limited pool of weapons you can choose, I think the Ikelos is going to be one of the more important picks for a sniper rifle. You're definitely going to be limited in your sniper rifle choice. You can't use Beloved anymore. You can't use Revoker anymore. And I think that an Ikelos sniper rifle with moving target quick draw or no distractions quick draw is actually a pretty good option for PvP. And I would definitely look towards getting one of these sniper rifles so that you, all of a sudden this fall, don't load up into Trials of Osiris and find yourself without a good sniper rifle. Number 2, we're going to go back to PvE, and that is going to be the Falling Guillotine. Now, you can basically have your choice between which sword you prefer, whether you want to be able to throw things at distance with your sword or do a ton of damage to a stationary target. But in my opinion, Falling Guillotine is the way to go. And the role I would get on it is Relentless Strikes plus Whirlwind Blade. So what Whirlwind Blade does is after you rapidly hitting a target with your sword boosts your sword's damage. And so what you can do is you can rapidly hit the target a few times, the boss you're fighting, and then go into the powerful uppercut attack where you do the spin, and then that spin is doing bonus damage. And when the spin ends, you'll have to refill that energy bar, and you can just start swinging and get those relentless strikes to get some ammo back, as well as Whirlwind Blade to get some bonus damage on your sword. Overall, relentless strikes plus Whirlwind Blade combine to and synergize extremely well. So that's why I would pick Falling Guillotine. Finally, the last weapon we're going to talk about, and the most important one I think you guys should farm. It's a little disappointing, but I would definitely get yourself a God Roll Gnawing Hunger. If Bungie chooses not to nerf auto rifles this fall at all, Gnawing Hunger is going to be one of the pinnacle top tier weapons in PvP, and you are going to want an updated version that you can bring into Trials of Osiris. Your old ones from a few years ago when the Reckoning first launched, those aren't going to be viable anymore because they aren't going to be from a recent season. But the Gnawing Hunger you get in an Umbral Engram technically is from the current season, making it viable in Trials of Osiris this fall. It's really unfortunate, especially because the two Gnawing Hungers have the exact same perk pools, but I would definitely get yourself either a Zen Moment or Tap the Trigger, and then add any of the damage buff perks that whichever one you prefer, be it Rampage, Kill Clip, or Multi-Kill Clip. Kind of depends on what you're trying to do with the weapon, but 100% go for something like Zen Moment, plus one of those three damage perks, and you'll find yourself with a top tier Gnawing Hunger that's going to end up being really, really good in endgame PvP, especially if they don't get nerfed at all by Bungie. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I think we covered some of the most important weapons you can farm from the Umbral Engrams, and I hope you guys enjoy. Hope you guys go and get some of these awesome guns, and I will see you in another one. Bye.